Speaker, House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas withdraws compulsory voting bill, cites respect for citizens' views. Nigeria collaborates with the United Nations Development Programme to secure 75% discount on cargo flights from Nigeria to East and Southern Africa. Default of payment of 10 to 43-year ground rent, Federal Capital Territory Administration commences sealing up of premises. Hello and welcome to the News Desk at 6 on NTNS 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Mina Daniels. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will leave Abuja on Tuesday for Lagos to celebrate, along with other leaders, the 50th anniversary of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The ECOWAS Golden Jubilee was flagged off in Accra last month. The Lagos event will include reenacting the 1975 declaration at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs in Victoria Island. At the Eco Hotels and Suites event, President Tinubu, the chairman of ECOWAS, will highlight the economic bloc's milestones. The chairman of the NIIA and former Minister of External Affairs, Professor Bolaji Akiyemi, will review the bloc's 50-year journey, which panelists at the NIIA will later analyze. President Tinubu will observe the Eid al-Kabir prayers at the State House Dordon Barracks before returning to Abuja. Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas has withdrawn the compulsory voting bill which he co-sponsored with Representative Daniel Asama from Plateau State. The proposed legislation to amend the Electoral Act 2022 to make voting mandatory for all eligible Nigerians had passed second reading on the floor of the House, generating debate and public reactions. Speaker Tajuddin, in a statement, however, says the decision to withdraw the bill follows extensive consultations with a broad spectrum of stakeholders, as well as respect for individual freedoms and public sentiment. He notes that the bill was introduced with the best of intentions to promote civic engagement and higher voter turnout, but also acknowledges that lawmaking is ultimately about the people it serves and their rights. Rather than compel civic participation, the Speaker says he is committed to exploring innovative approaches to making voting more attractive and accessible to all Nigerians, as the withdrawal of the bill will allow time for further dialogue. Minister of Housing and Urban Development Ahmed Musa Dangiwa has reiterated that in 2 years under President Bola Tinubu's administration, Nigeria's housing sector has seen significant strides, particularly through the renewed HELP program. The staggering housing deficits in Kano as pilots. Lydia Sampson has details.
The program Gaston Good Morning Nigeria noted is part of a broader strategy that includes the Renewed Hope Social Housing Program, targeting low-income earners and vulnerable groups with plans to build 77,400 homes nationwide, including 100 units in each of the 774 local government areas. Ahmed Musa Dangiwa emphasized the significance of job creation with over 250,000 jobs generated across the value chain of ongoing projects.
It is aimed to deliver 77,400 housing units at 100 housing units in each of the 774 local government areas of the country. This is what the Renewed Hope program is all about: to deliver cities, to deliver estates, and to deliver social housing to Nigerians.
Determined to ensure equal opportunity, government involvement of private sector public partnership made more viable is driving the process.
What people's needs are, and not put everybody in the bucket and expect that they would all fit. And through this collaboration, we've now seen that, okay, if the ministry provides land access, we can reduce the cost of houses by, say, 10-15%.
Okay.
If we have additional, government-owned enterprise funding, we can reduce it again by another 15%. So that kind of collaboration is how we get to affordable housing, not when both parties are talking from different perspectives.
The guest reveals how the initiative also ensures accessibility, allowing buyers to pay a third of their monthly income, making home ownership feasible even for those earning as low as 30,000 monthly. They call for sustained increased allocation for housing, stressing that it is often returned to government coffers upon completion and disposal of houses to buyers. Equipped with essential facilities, these estates, almost completed, the guests acknowledge reflect President Tinubu's commitment to inclusive development and economic growth through affordable housing. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
And in a bid to match words with action, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has commenced the sealing up of premises in default of payment of ground rent for between 10 to 43 years. Onoza Yakubu, who is monitoring the unfolding situation, reports that within the Wuse premises housing the Access Bank close to Wuse Market, Total Fuel Station and the head office of the Federal Inland Revenue Service in Wuse Zone 5 have been sealed up by the officials of the Development Control Department in collaboration with other sister agencies. The Access Bank is in default of ground rent payment for 34 years. Also, the People's Democratic Party PDP Secretariat was also sealed by the FCTA administration for 28 years default in ground rent payment, and details will come up in our subsequent bulletins. To fully harness the benefits of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment is collaborating with the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, to secure up to 75% discount on cargo flights from Nigeria to East and Southern Africa through Uganda Airlines.
Nigeria is intensifying efforts to position itself as a leading exporter within the continent. And to achieve this target, the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment has unveiled the East and Southern Africa Market Intelligence Tool, a digital platform designed to guide MSMEs towards viable markets. Earlier, the ministry had initiated the Nigeria East-Southern Africa Freight Corridor, easing logistics and reducing trade barriers for local businesses.
We're telling businesses in Nigeria what is in demand in Southern Africa, 13 Southern and Eastern African countries. And we're telling them what the regulatory environment is, what you want, if it's your plantain chips, if it's your zobo, whatever it is, your textiles, your fashion, your wigs, we're telling them who wants what. And we're backing it up with a flat cargo rate that has reduced the cost from 50 to 75%.
Of Nigeria, we launched AFCFTA, which is basically how women can trade within the context of AFCFTA. And so we kind of encourage women to connect some more.
Nigeria. At the moment, we cover 17 destinations through Entebbe. And the reason why we came through here is to connect Nigeria through other destinations, through East Africa.
These initiatives represent bold and deliberate steps towards enhancing Nigeria's manufacturing capacity and reinforcing its role in intra-African trade. Maria Adu-Zakari, NTA News.
The federal government's renewed help agenda on health continues with an upward trajectory as about 8 infrastructural landmark projects were inaugurated at the Federal Medical Center, FMC, Abeokuta. Lekon Abonde reports that the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Isiaq Adekole Salako, inaugurated the projects, which climaxes the 8th-year tenure of the Chief Medical Director of the Health Institution, Professor Adewale Musa Olomo.
Years of the outgoing CMD of the Federal Medical Center, Abeokuta, infrastructure development remains part of the mainstay of the administration. As the tenure climaxes, inauguration of laudable infrastructure projects continues as unforgettable investment legacies This Works and Maintenance two-story building named after Governor Dapo Abiodun, the block of Consultants Story Building named in honor of former Governor of Ogun State Olusegun Oshoba, the 100-bedded Abdulaziz Sanusi Amosun and 80-bedded Rafatu Sanusi Amosun buildings facilitated by former Governor of Ogun State in honor of his late parents, and other projects named after prominent individuals in recognition of their contributions are key. The exploits of the Chief Medical Director, the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Isiaq Salako, says are mirrors of the vision of President Bola Tinubu in providing efficient, qualitative, and affordable healthcare for Nigerians.
In the last 2 years, the federal government has therefore established additional 12 new tertiary health facilities. This is a strategic decision to match tertiary health facilities with the growing population of our country and provide an avenue of care for the growing burden of non-communicable diseases.
I'm glad to announce donation of the Model College Onijogojogon to be used as a takeoff infrastructure for this prestigious University of Health Sciences, Abeokuta.
Professor Musa Elonu is happy and proud of his administration's achievements made possible by the support of government and stakeholders.
During the COVID era, the federal government asked us to build 10-bedded ICU, but we saw that the money was enough to build a 20-bedded. So we have 20-bedded ICU in this hospital, well equipped.
In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbode, NTA News.
Into politics now. The proposed People's Democratic Party's 99th National Executive Committee meeting, scheduled for May 27, 2025, may help reposition the party amid ongoing defections. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf in this report tells us measures already put in place ahead of the day.
We have seen members of your party declaring support for this incumbent president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Is the party going to take any action against them, sir?
Very well, very soon.
Ahead of the PDP NEC meeting, the party's National Working Committee held an emergency meeting in Abuja on April 29, 2025 to address the wave of defections, including the exit of Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborevwori and former PDP Vice Presidential candidate Ifeanyi Okowa to the All Progressives Congress APC. The meeting also aims to tackle the party's internal crisis and strategize on how to stem the tide of defections.
The PDP is still a brand, and I believe this should not weigh us down. Rather, should make us up our sleeves.
Party leaders believe the meeting may provide an opportunity for the party to reassess its strategy, strengthen its grassroots machinery, and identify areas of improvement to prevent further defections. Many also are of the opinion that the party may chart a new course, adopting fresh policies to regain the trust and confidence of its members and the electorate.
And of course, to reassure our teaming supporters that the PDP is working, the PDP is united, and in doing so, there are some missing gaps here and there. We set up a committee of 7 headed by His Excellency, the former Senate President, and of course, former Governor of Kwara State, to meet so that at least quick reconciliation and reach out will be made in such a manner that we will have a very rancor-free and harmonious NEC and convention.
While the meeting is a positive step, its success will depend on the party's ability to effectively address its internal challenges and develop a clear plan to reposition itself for future electoral success. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Let's take a short breather. We have more reports coming your way shortly.
The Nigerian Television Authority rolls out President Tinubu's 2-year anniversary documentaries themed The Mission, The Masons, The Milestones. Join us for the first in the series this evening, beginning with Defense from Fear to Hope, 8 to 8:30 p.m. Economy, Navigating Challenges, Building Growth, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Health is shot in the arm, 10:05 to 10:30 p.m. Join us on the network service of the NTA tonight. Don't miss any. This is NTA News 24.
Welcome back. Integrity, loyalty, and the promotion of the equality of all Nigerians will always be the driving force. This was the core message at the 2025 annual conference of the Because of Our Tomorrow Boot Party. Dennis Adengoloye reports that the state chairman of the party also passed a resounding vote of confidence on the national chairman of the party, Sunday Adenuga.
This annual gathering of Boots Party leaders is seen as essential to brainstorm on where the party is and where it is heading, as well as to build on its agenda of setting the pace for others to follow. And being one of the young parties in the country, the firm foundations already built, members believe, must be consolidated upon, and coming together from across the country to gatherings such as this is what is needed to galvanize the party faithful, to imbibe trust among one another, and an unshakable belief in the Boots Party ideology of making a positive impact on the country through new innovations and a recalibration of policies. The state party chairmen are emphatic in their continued belief in the leadership style of Sunday Adenuga, the national party chairman, describing him as the man to take the Boots Party to greater heights.
Those values that underpin our the Boot Party as a political party, we commit to it again today, that we continue to grow from strength to strength. And of course, over the last 1 year, we have been one of the voices of the opposition in the country. We've curated the true concept of opposition, not just to argue or to abuse or to insult the ruling party, but also to use opposition as a tool to draw their attention to where they are having what they call the blind spot. And we take our time, we evaluate what's going on in the country.
I see the party winning different seats cut across Nigeria, because Nigerians believe in the party.
I really have confidence in Boot Party because it's the only exceptional party in Nigeria. It's the party that have a serious mandate, and we, by the grace of God, before 2027, inshallah, we'll surprise people.
The national and state chairman of the Boots Party are confident of gathering momentum that will elevate the party to becoming a formidable force as the 2027 general elections approach. In Abuja, Dennis Adengoloye, NTA News.
He is such a gifted boy with a brilliant mind. That is how Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu described 50-year-old Nigerian autistic artist Kanyachukwu Okeke, who visited her office after recently making history by painting and unveiling the world's largest art canvas. State House correspondent Adeni Itaiwo has more.
With an aura of triumph radiating on his face, Kanyachukwu Okeke made his way into the office of Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, accompanied by his parents. The young autistic artist made headlines after defying his condition to earn a place in the Guinness World Records by painting and unveiling the world's largest art canvas titled "Impossibility is a Myth." His meeting with the First Lady took off on a warm note as they shared a hug, a social gesture said to be rare for autistic children.
I think he likes me already. I like him too.
Applauding Kanyachukwu's accomplishment, the First Lady describes his success as not just a personal win, but a clarion call for more inclusion of children with special needs.
Autism actually, and even mental health, happens in the lives of very brilliant children. So you just have to pay attention. And this would also send a message with other parents, because in Nigeria, when it comes to mental health, we tend to take it otherwise, and their interest is always single, and you have to just push with it.
While showering the young artist with gifts, their First Lady equally praised the tenacity of his parents for paying the price to ensure that the boy lives his dream.
And the money we gave is towards his education and whatever he wants to do, and you can put it into good use for him.
Kanye Iyachukwu was led to the First Lady's office by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, Mukhtar Yawali Muhammad.
The artwork was created to promote autism acceptance and support for individuals on the spectrum, with proceeds from the event going to the Ziba Foundation.
Her acknowledgement, her gift, her support, because she pledged support for Kanye and for children. You can tell from the Renewed Hope agenda how passionate she is about children and youth and women.
Kanye Iyachukwu achieved this feat on November 24, 2024, surpassing the previous record of 9,652 square meters set in 2022. In the State House, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
19 persons who lost their lives in a fatal road accident on Sunday evening along Lokoja-Obajana Road in Kogi State have been given mass burial. Solomon Ayede completes the report.
The fatal road accident involving a full-loading Toyota Hiace Hummer bus heading towards the north from the southwest was said to have collided with an articulated vehicle at Gadabiu community near Lokoja along Zaria-Gioba-Jana Road. The mishap, which occurred at about 6 p.m. on Sunday evening, is attributed to overspeeding and wrong overtaking. Out of the 27 people, including 22 adults and 5 children involved in the accident, 19 were killed, with 14 of them burnt beyond recognition, while 8 people injured are receiving treatment in the hospital. It took the combined efforts of men and officers of the Kogi State Command, Federal Road Safety Corps, and the police to rescue the injured. Meanwhile, the remains of those who lost their lives in the mishap have been given mass burial after the completion of necessary paperwork. Efforts to reach out to Kogi State Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, for his reaction was, however, unsuccessful. In Lokoja, Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Here is a recap of our major stories. Speaker House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas withdraws compulsory voting bill, cites respect for citizens' views. Nigeria collaborates with the United Nations Development Programme to secure 75% discount on cargo flights from Nigeria to East and Southern Africa. Default of payment of 10 to 43-year ground rent, Federal Capital Territory Administration commences sealing up of premises. Nigeria stands with the African Union, member states and the entire African continent to mark Africa Day 2025 with the theme Justice for Africans and People of African Descent through Reparations. A statement by the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kimiebi Ebiemfa, reaffirms Nigeria's dedication to continental unity, sustainable development, and amplifying the African Continental Free Trade Area to promote intra-African trade, technological innovations, and climate resilience, among other transformative frameworks initiated by the African Union. He notes that it is noteworthy to celebrate strides in education, healthcare, and infrastructure while calling for global cooperation to address the challenges of poverty, inequality, and conflict to drive equitable progresses through strengthening global partnerships and elevating Africa's voice. And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTNS 24. Many thanks for your company. I am Mina Daniels.